Welcome back. It's your girl, Tamika Hall. You are locked into the Tamika Hall radio show. I'm hanging out with my sis, Abigail McNeil from Forgiving Gifts, and I am so excited to just begin to talk to her about her thoughts on forgiveness, the fact that she created an entire brand dedicated to teaching people how to forgive. Folks, we have to be more audacious in being forgiving. You know what I mean? So I'm really excited. So with that being said, Abigail, thank you so much for joining the Tamika Hall radio show. How you doing?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing great. I'm just so excited to be here.
Well, I'm excited to be able to chit chat with you. We've been Instagram friends. Like, you've been my Instagram best friend. We've been friends for a while. So I think it's so dope to be able to just dig deeper into what you do. And one of the things I was excited about or to find out is that you are a nurse. Oh my gosh. So first of all, I feel like saying, thank you for your service. I don't know if I should salute you, or, because I know you're on the front lines. I mean, what is life like right now in quarantine? What is that like for a nurse?
Well, for me, quarantine, really doesn't exist, other than maybe not being able to go shopping and that kind of stuff. But everything else is pretty much the same. Like, I still go out, I see patients every day. And then just being prepared to try to, take care of them the best I can. Some have COVID, some don't.
Wow.
But I have to treat everybody as if they do, So it's really about protecting myself, protecting the patient as well, so that I don't carry anything to them. So it's a really interesting time right now.
Are you scared, or is it just kind of, it's just because I mean, as a nurse, you guys already are very cautious about everything. I love having nurse friends. They are never short of hand sanitizer. Like, we are going to, like, I would have no problem probably eating off of some of my friends' floors because they mop every day. Like, I love it. I'm like, I can go to your house. I can take my shoes off in your house and chill out. So
that's right.
But is it just something, an extra precaution that you have to take, or?
It is.
Okay.
It is. I think it is an extra precaution you have to take. I mean, like you said, of course, we do all those things, anyway, because we have to treat patients as if they, are infectious. But I think it is a little extra right now because it's really a focus on it. So you have to make sure you dot all your I's and cross all your T's. Really do. And not leave, anything undone, because just one little oops and you could end up.
Wow. So is it really true that it does affect African Americans differently? That, does it, because from what I heard is that we don't get the same symptoms as everybody else. Is that true, or are you?
I don't know that we don't get the same symptoms, but we do. It does affect us apparently more than it does other races. But it has to do with our how we take care of ourselves. It has to do with an environment. The what's available to us. And so we are at high risk of having heart disease, cancer,
high blood pressure,
diabetes, high blood pressure. We're at high risk in all those things. And so that makes us high risk when it comes to the mortality of COVID because of that, and it has to do with how we, our makeup and also how we, take care of ourselves. We have to make sure that we prepare, for things like this and, get a good diet, nutrition, exercise, rest. And so I think that's the reason why it affects us. A lot of the reasons, why it affects us mostly.
Well, I appreciate you, because you're not here to talk about that, but I think that it's definitely important. And, in us thinking about being prepared and really taking care of ourselves, when we think about forgiveness, right? I look at that and I look at the fact that you actually say that forgiveness and illness, there is a correlation. Right. So talk to us about the correlation of illness and the factor of unforgiveness that goes into that.
Right. So there is a correlation between unforgiveness and illness. And it's out there, and it's been out there for quite some time, but I don't think the light has really been focused on it. And so that's what Forgiving Gifts is here to do, is kind of really focus the light on it and have people understand the relationship between unforgiveness and illness. And that is that when we hold on to past hurt and resentment, we tend to introduce like ineffective coping mechanisms into our lifestyle. You know, so for instance, if you know, even when we watch movies and things like that, and we see, you know, a girl and guy breaks up, and the girl is having a really hard time with getting over it. You know, she invited her girlfriends over, and then what do they eat? Like a tub of ice cream with big spoons, or drink down a couple bottles of alcohol. You know, so it's like those. And so in real life, if we don't deal with those issues, then it becomes an addiction. Wow. And become dependent on, you know, alcohol or drugs or even sex or gambling or things like that, just to make you feel good, because that's what we're looking for. We're looking to feel better. And what makes us feel better instantly is those things. And so, like, again, if you continue to do that and not deal with your main issue, which is, you know, could be a traumatic event, it could be, you know, a failed relationship, and then you continue to have those ineffective coping mechanisms, then you end up with a problem.
You know what, that's really eye-opening. I guess I never really looked at it where it really can lead to so many different things. It's the gateway drug, you know, almost to other things. And I remember different times where I have literally hated somebody, and it has not, there haven't been many people, but the few times that I've been there, it is all consuming. You spend your day thinking about this person. You spend your night thinking about, like, you cannot even move forward in your life because you are consumed with hating somebody. It takes so much emotional power to hate somebody and to sit in a seat of unforgiveness.
That's right.
Why do you feel like, I mean, with us kind of knowing this stuff, all of us have felt the negative effects of unforgiveness. I mean, even if we don't want to admit it, we've felt it. So we know it doesn't feel good. But why do you think it's so difficult for people to actually try to forgive?
Because, you know, it depends on, like, the offense. You know, some of them are really traumatic, and it's really hard to be able to get to that place of forgiveness for some people. You know, so I think that it just makes it really difficult, you know, for some people to be able to get there. And I just think that, you know, we have like a really hard time of letting go of those things, and we also feel like if we don't forgive someone, then we're punishing them, you know, but we're not punishing them. It's only affecting us. And sometimes people don't understand that. They don't understand that, you know, forgiveness is for you, it's not for the other person, because we sometimes think that we're giving them a pass. We're letting them know that, okay, what you did was okay. And we feel that way anyway, but that's not the case, you know? So I think that we just need to really understand forgiveness is for you. And once we understand forgiveness is for you, then it makes it a little bit easier to try to get to that point of forgiveness. But if you're thinking the forgiveness is for the other person, then, you know, you're going to continue to try to hold them in that place of unforgiveness, and it's not possible.
And they're not thinking about you.
They have moved on.
They are not thinking about you. Like, you're up all night long. And like you said, they've totally moved on.
Right.
It's so funny. I had a lady a long time ago. She came to me one day and was like, I just wanted to apologize to you. And I said, for what? And she was angry with me. She had been angry with me because of a relationship that I had entered into with somebody. You know, I was young. I was in my 20s, but he had been dating somebody else, and then we started dating. And this woman who had nothing to do with it was angry with me. And she said, I know that you've noticed that I've treated you a certain way. And I was like, no. I mean, you know, because here I am, I'm like 22 or something. I don't know. And I was just like, I didn't notice that. And he was like, oh, well, I just wanted to tell you I'm sorry. And I said, okay, I appreciate that. I said, I'm sorry. I didn't know that you had a problem with me. So this woman was mad at me about something that I didn't even do anything to her. I honestly didn't even do anything wrong. It's not like I stole this guy from somebody, you know. It wasn't even like that. But I'm like, you're mad at me and you're not even involved at all. And I had no idea. And you're talking about maybe 2-3 years later. So no, I was probably maybe 25. 2-3 years later, me and this person, we had got married. We had a child, and it took her like 3 years to say she was sorry. I sometimes
she was harboring those feelings. She was harboring, you know, all that time, those feelings.
Yeah.
You know, so obviously it had something to do more with her, you know?
Yeah. And so you're right. So when did you become passionate about forgiveness and teaching people about forgiveness? Did you have a certain event that occurred in your life, or, you know?
I did. I went through a pretty bad divorce. And for, oh gosh, for years, I had the hardest time forgiving, you know? And I mean, I would really go to bed with the thoughts on my mind at night and, you know, get up in the morning, first thing in the morning, and the thoughts were that throughout the day, I'm thinking about this, consumed with hurt, resentment, you know, and anger.
Yeah.
But then I was stunting my own growth. You know, I was just kind of felt like I was just existing and not living. And I was like, I know there's got to be something more to this. And, you know, one particular night I said, I have had enough. And so I just really just cried out to the Lord and said, you know, I've had enough. I can't do this anymore. You have to lift this from me because I don't want this. And I always wanted to forgive from the very beginning. But it was difficult. You know, I didn't have the steps to be able to get there. I didn't have what I needed. You know I should forgive.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, we have to. God says so. You know, but then actually be able to have the tools to get there, I did not have it. And so I just cried out like, you know, please help me, you know? And so it was like a light bulb just went off and he's like, this is what I want you to do. I want you to put a program together and show the relationship between unforgiveness and illness. And not only is it going to help you, but it's going to help somebody else. You know, when God gives us things, it's not just for us. It's so that we can help somebody else. And so it really is a blessing from the Lord. And I have to give all the glory to him because I've done things that I've never wanted to do, never thought I could do.
Wow.
You know, and it put a whole entire like brand together. And it was, you know, it was ordered by God. Every step of it was ordered by him. You know, I just really thank him.
You said a couple of things that I'm hoping that people are catching right now. Those that are tuned in, whether it's through the video or whether it's right here on the show. You talked about the fact that when you realized it was an issue, you cried out to God. You asked him to take it away. Because sometimes we cry out to God and we're mad and we'll cry out and say, God, get him, get him, get him. Right? You know what I mean? But you cried out. So you were like, God, I surrender this to you. You asked him to help you. And then you actually focused on something else. When he told you to do this, but you focus on something else. Is there anything else that people should be doing to begin to heal and to forgive? Because I'm going to tell you something, Abigail. I used to be like, because I went through messy divorce, went through a messy divorce, very painful. And I was at a place, I was like, if another person tells me to pray or to go to church, I'm going to punch somebody in the throat. You know, if another person tells me that I need to forgive, like you're about to get the raw deal from Tamika because I'm sick of y'all. So for the person that is like, look, okay, I heard you. So they're like, they got the first couple steps. What can people do to begin the process of forgiveness? Because it's a process. It's not supposed to happen overnight.
That's right. That's the first thing, recognizing that it is a process and it takes time to be able to get there. And everybody don't arrive at the same time. You know, it may take someone 2 years, it may take someone else 20. You know, but I think the first thing you really need to do is you have to pray. You know, ask the Lord to help you through the situation. And you have to want it. You have to want to forgive somebody. You know, but it's one thing that, you know, if you don't want to forgive someone, it's really hard to be able to get there. You have to want it. You have to want a better life for yourself, recognizing that forgiveness is for you and not for the other person. So you really have to just kind of go through steps of how do I get there? What do I need to do to get there? What do I need to add to this? What do I need to eliminate? What am I doing to myself that's keeping me in this negative space? How am I contributing to this? You know, because we contribute, you know, reminiscing, going over things over and over again in our heads, you know, making the situation worse instead of better, because now we've gone over in our head so many times with the story has changed. And now we're ready to, you know.
You better preach, girl. Yeah. Because we were it's like, they didn't say that to you.
Right.
People be mad at me and I'm like, I didn't say that to you. And if you listen to what I said, you would not be this hurt right now. Like I've literally had to say that to people. Like, I did not say that. You added something totally different. You said I assassinated your character, and I just told you have communication issues. Like, they are not the same thing. Like, they are two different things, and now you're upset, and you are so hurt over something that was not the case. You are really giving us some really great nuggets with that. Just the fact of even wanting. I think sometimes we don't realize the power of our desires. I don't think we realize that we have so much power in just what we want. And you're right, you have to want to forgive. You have to pursue it intentionally.
Right.
So in your pursuing your healing, your forgiveness, God says, girl, to launch a brand.
Yes.
So talk to us about forgiving gifts. Like, when I encounter a lot of brands, I've never encountered one that is focused on teaching people how to forgive. I mean, you have products that's all about forgiveness. I love the mug, and I'm definitely going to get it, which says forgiving isn't forgetting, it's releasing. Oh my gosh. That's so powerful. That's so powerful. Yes. And what a beautiful way to be reminded every time you take a little sip of whatever you're drinking. So talk to us about, God said, girl, go and build a brand.
Yes. So forgiving gifts. So I originally started out the whole program in the church with doing seminars. 4 of us would take topics and show the relationship between unforgiveness and illness. And then the Lord said to me, wouldn't it be nice to be able to have something that people can be reminded of their path, towards healing. And so I thought about it. I was like, that would be great, to connect that. And I really kind of just focused on the brand. Like I said, this is something that is totally out of my character. This is not me. And it was all just ordained by God. It was all ordained by him. And to be able to put it together from everything, the logo and the forgiving gifts. Forgiveness is healing. When you see the logo and I have the FIS agent, that's what it means. Forgiveness is healing in there. And then I just thought about, people need reminders. As we're going through the process, we easily forget. We get to a point where we're thinking, I'm going to do this. I'm going to stay on this path. And then we forget. So when I said, let's have something people can, something to remind people that they're on the path and stay on that path. Yeah. So then I created, the logos to go on keychains, a T-shirts, mug, a journal. And then also I have the steps to be able to get through healing. So if you're sitting and you're just, you want a journal, now you have steps to be able to follow that helps you get to that place. And then you can put your T-shirt on that says, forgiving is not forgetting, but releasing, your mug, and just, be able to put all that together just as reminders to help you get there. Stay focused on your goal, because it's easy to lose focus, and end up right back in that place of hurt and pain and resentment.
I think what a lot of people don't realize, and this is something I've had to realize, I really intentionally went on a journey over the last couple of years to heal from divorce. And I found that in my forgiveness, in my healing, that we walk through this path of healing, but there comes a point where you have to release, or you'll never walk in your freedom.
That's right.
You'll get stuck saying, I need to heal. And if you're constantly healing, then that means that there's still a wound there. But there is a point where God wants you to walk in complete freedom. And along that path, you'll find that while you thought you were healed from one thing that the person did, maybe something else comes up. And because I found myself being like, Lord, I thought I was healed from this. And it was like, no, I'm not healed. This is just another piece to you going toward your freedom. Talk to people, Abigail. There's somebody out there that's listening right now, and they are saying, I want to heal. I don't know how to do it. I want to heal. I don't even know if the pain is worth it, because it's painful when you're walking towards your healing and you're trying to forgive. Tell people, what can you put into words what it feels like to truly be healed and walking in forgiveness? Like, what does that feel like? What makes it worth it to go through the process?
For me, it feels like walking in my purpose.
Ooh.
I really do feel like that's what happened. God does not plan everything that happens to us, but he has a plan for everything that does. So when I started out with this forgiveness thing, it really just opened my eyes to, you know what? Not only are you hurting, but a lot of other people are hurting as well. And he equipped me with things to be able to help somebody, you know? So, and I just feel like, you know, through all that I've gone through, it's only made me stronger. And a lot of people say, well, you know, your purpose is in your pain. Whatever it is that's bothering you the most, that you're having the most difficult with, that there lies your purpose. Ooh. And for me, this is my purpose, and I'm just walking in it. You know, I feel like I'm no longer existing, I am living, you know,
and you're
I'm
glowing.
Living to help.
And
yes.
You look genuinely happy, and it's not man-made happiness. It's like you have joy. And I tell people all the time, happy is what we create. We can orchestrate, we can create happiness, but true joy comes from God. Like that. That's right. And you look like you are walking in that.
Mm-hmm. I am, you know, and it's just a release, you know, release of all that. Like, wow, if only I've seen this sooner. But I wonder if I had, you know, noticed it sooner, you know, would I really appreciate it as much as I do right now? And I just appreciate the journey, you know, that he's put me on. And I'm just grateful that he chose me. Like, thank you, Lord, you know.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. I love it. And just letting people know it's okay to be healed. Because sometimes we got to realize it's really okay to be free from this. You don't have to be annoyed and hate somebody for the rest of your life. Like, you really can move on. You know,
that's right.
That's so powerful. How can people connect with you to have you come in and do seminars, to purchase some gifts? Because I'm telling you, I'm about to buy some stuff. So how can people connect with you and get everything that they want to get from you?
You can connect with me on my website, which is forgivinggifts.com. My email address is forgivinggifts@gmail.com. You can connect with me on Instagram, and that is through Forgiving Gifts and GYLE001. And then also on Facebook at ABI space GAIL, Abigail. So, you know, reach out. I am, you know, always interested in just to helping others. And it's just a joy of mine. I'm really an introvert. So this is really, like I said, I'm totally doing things that I never thought I would do.
It's no pressure. You're just talking to the nations right now. That's okay.
Exactly. You know, no so I just, you know, exactly. And I just love it. You know, just know that I'm, you know, I would love talking to you. If anything I can do to help, you know, please reach out. I've been there, and I know with all the things that the Lord has allowed me to put together. The first thing I said was, Lord, I really must have had some issues with forgiveness, because this is on another level, you know.
You said, so, you know, all kinds of stuff, out. Lord. I love how God really
our all at once.
Purpose. God knows what he's doing. He does everything well, and he takes our little and he makes it much. And I love that. Abigail, I have so enjoyed having you here on the Tamika Hall Radio Show. You are a delight. Thank you so much. Just a breath of fresh air. You know, this is the perfect conversation for everybody to begin their week.
That's
walking in forgiveness, walking in their healing, walking in freedom. And I appreciate you saying yes to God when he told you to do it. And I appreciate you coming on the show. You were so dope.
Thank you so much. And I did also want to say too, I have a book coming out soon.
Yay!
Called Purposeful Healing. How can you be purposeful about your healing? We're purposeful about a lot of things, but how can we be purposeful about healing through traumatic events? So that's going to be coming hopefully by the fall.
Okay. You got, well, no, actually you don't have time. You're still trying to work everything in. Look, I was about to be like, you got time, but no, you don't. You're working it in. You're working with all of your actual medical patients, and then all of us who need forgiveness.
Yes,
you know,
doing this too.
Yeah.
Yes, and then I did also co-author in a book that's out now. It's on Amazon, and it's called The Calling.
The Calling.
So yes, Calling. So
good stuff.
Yes. So, you know, reach out and, you know, check that out. That would be great.
Absolutely, folks. Make sure that you stay connected to Abigail McNeil by going to forgivinggifts.com. She's everywhere as Forgiving Gifts. So good marketing. Hello. Good marketing, Abigail. She had it right. Listen, y'all, I want you guys to stay connected. Come back, same place, same time, the Tamika Hall Radio Show.